Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Yogalibrium. I hope you're all doing well today. I have a 30-minute yin yoga class for you, and we're going to get started in happy baby pose. So go ahead and lie down on your back. We'll extend the feet up towards the ceiling, making sure to catch wherever is most comfortable for you, whether that's the outsides of your feet or your thighs or behind the knees, ankles, calves. Just exploring the edge of your pose, taking a second to take some deep breaths as you first arrive, and starting to relax as much as possible. We're going to be holding our poses today for about 3 minutes each. And as you're in happy baby pose, trying to relax the sacrum as much as possible. Really dropping into your awareness, sending the awareness into the hips, softening as much as you can, allowing gravity to do most of the work here, and meeting any sensations that come up with that gentle compassion. And taking one final breath here in happy baby pose. And when you get to the bottom of the exhale, go ahead and draw your knees together in towards your chest. We're going to take some big circles here with the knees. So drawing the knees in towards you and then out to the side a few times in this direction. And then we'll go ahead and change the direction the other way, getting as much mobility into your hips as is available right now. Beautiful. And then gently rolling on the sacrum, we'll start to rock ourselves forward and back until we come all the way up into a seated position. And from here, we'll go ahead and extend the legs forward, flex into the feet. When you're ready, root the sit bones down. Inhale, find as much length in your spine as possible. Float your arms above your head, and exhale, come forward into caterpillar pose. And notice if you're holding any tension in your neck, see if you can let that go. Can you breathe a little bit deeper into the back space of your lungs, allowing the ribcage to expand front, back, and both sides. Beautiful. Nice and slow. Start to lift yourself all the way back up. Shrug your shoulders back. We're going to take the hands behind us, fingertips pointing towards the hips. Press the hands down, float the hips up towards the sky. Deep breath. And then gently lowering the hips back down towards the mat. Amazing job. We're going to take the fingertips now. You're going to point them towards each other behind your back and then wiggle them until they interlace. Reach the palms away from the sit bones and then extend out through the elbows until you feel it in your shoulders. Really pressing the palms down so you're feeling that lifting sensation across your heart space. Beautiful job. Let's let that go. Shrug the shoulders back again. Let's take a moment to roll through the wrists. So a few times circling the wrists one way and then the other way, maybe wiggling the fingers. We'll interlace again. This time put the palms together and press the hands forward so you're rounding out your back. Beautiful job. Let's let that go. We're going to roll over top of the knees, make our way into a comfortable tabletop position. Let's take a second to wag the tail a little bit from side to side. So finding any movement that feels intuitive and good for you in your spine. Beautiful. And then we're going to draw the right leg forward. We're going to set up sleeping swan on the first side. So I want you to feel that the hips are squaring as much as possible before you release down. Setting yourself up in any way that works for you, but feeling like that left hip is driving forward. And then take your inhale to lengthen up through the chest and an exhale to start to lean forward to find your edge. And then doing your best to scan from the top of your head down to your toes. Can you note anything that is gripping or holding on that doesn't have to? And can you let that go with the next exhale? Can you really find the minimum amount of effort that you need to hold yourself in the pose? And then anytime your mind begins to wander off your mat and out of the practice, gently bring it back to your breath. Last couple breaths here. And gently starting to lift yourself out of this posture. And we'll start to plant the hands down, start to tuck that back left toe and draw that back knee in enough that you can release the right leg back behind you. Let's press on top of the toe, release through the calf, or take any movement here that feels good for you to counteract that pose. And then we're going to set up our melting heart pose. So taking the knees wide, toes together, go ahead and slide the hands forward along the mat. Relaxing the heart space, the heart center towards the floor, resting forehead on a prop or on your mat. Beautiful, deep breathing. Last big breath in here. As you exhale, I want you to start to release the hips all the way back until they land on top of the heels. So relaxing into child's pose. Taking a full inhale when you arrive. And an exhale. And let's soften into this pose for a moment. Completely relaxing. then we're going to draw the knees in towards each other, and we're going to wrap the arms around behind to reach for the heels. We're going to counter our melting heart pose with rabbit pose for a few breaths. So floating the hips up towards the sky as you roll onto the crown of your head, rounding out your spine. We'll start to soften the hips back down on top of the heels. Gently, we'll start to float the arms forward in front of us again and start to lift back up into tabletop. This time, when we land in tabletop, we're going to take cat-cow a few times. So the inhale, sink the chest and the belly down. Exhale, round out the spine. A couple of times. And then we're going to take sleeping swan with the left leg forward. So again, doing your best to square the hips as best as you can, just feeling that sensation that the right hip is squaring towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale whenever you're ready, lifting up, and an exhale. As you're ready, lower down and find your edge. And remember, you have about 3 minutes here, so you don't need to go into your deepest expression of the posture right off the bat. All you want to do is just find that gentle meeting place where you're finding sensation and you give yourself lots of opportunity to melt into the pose. Last full deep breath here. Exhale, follow it all the way to the bottom. And then start to release up out of your posture, taking your time. You can tuck those back right toes, soften the knee, lift yourself up enough that you can release that left leg back behind you. Take any kind of counter stretch that feels good to you in this moment. Beautiful. And then we're going to tuck both toes. We'll press the hands and we'll float up for a moment into downward facing dog. And then we're going to walk the hands all the way back towards the feet. So keeping the feet hip width distance apart here, soften shoulders, soften the crown of the head towards the floor. We're going to take a circular flowing ragdoll. So soften into the knees. We'll start over towards the right, so pouring the weight into that right foot as you allow the body to come all the way up. When you get to the top, soften, open up through the heart space, shoulders, hands, arms, relax. Follow it all the way down through the left side and towards the center. And we'll do this 3 times in this direction. Nice and soft and easy. Being in no rush. Noticing how everything is feeling. And the next time you find yourself in the center, pause for a moment. And let's just hang here for a few breaths. And then softening into the knees again, starting that same ragdoll the other way. So this time moving over towards the left, up to stand, opening through the heart, relaxing the head, down the right, a few times. And the next time you find yourself arriving back in that dangling forward fold, just pause there. And as you relax the crown of the head towards the floor, imagining that more space is being created between each vertebrae all the way down the spine. Beautiful job. From here, lift your gaze up to the top of the mat. Go ahead and walk the hands out. We'll soften the knees towards the mat. We'll crawl them forward, cross over top of the ankles, and then release the sit bones to the floor. Let's extend the legs back out again. Inhale, float the arms up, and exhale, come back into your caterpillar forward fold. Inhale, lift yourself back up, shrug the shoulders back. Go ahead and lie down on your back. And let's take a few breaths back in our happy baby pose where we started class. And then releasing the knees back in towards the center. If you wanted to circle a few times on the sacrum, go right ahead. Let's let the knees come over towards that left side. Reaching the right arm up beside us for a gentle spinal twist. And then drawing the legs up and over the other way. Coming back to center, give yourself one more squeeze here. Maybe folding the forehead up to meet the knees on your inhale. On your exhale, go ahead and soften into your Shavasana. Taking up as much space as you like. Melting into your mat. Deepening your breath. Starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Starting to roll through your wrists and through your ankles. As you feel ready, go ahead and float the arms up above your head. Draw the legs together. Take your last long stretch. And as you feel ready, rolling over onto one side, pausing for a moment. And taking your time to come back up to any comfortable seated position that works for you. And let's end by bringing our hands together to heart center, bowing our chin to our chest in a moment of gratitude for our practice. And I thank you so much for joining me for this practice. If you liked the class, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like, a comment, and of course, please subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And I will see you next time on the mat. Namaste.